Hello BookTube. As you know, I have been moving the last 2 weeks and have been sort of out of the loop on a lot of things that have been happening, and I am very glad that I did come back when I did and that I came back at such a positive time on BookTube. I am extremely excited about DiverseAThon. For anyone who happens to not know what that is at this point, DiverseAThon is a week-long reading event centered around diversity in reading, and diversity can be taken as any meaning of the word. So it can be that you want to read from a variety of different countries or topics that might be outside of your normal reading comfort zone, or simply reading on something that you've never read on before. And I think this was such an amazing positive way to look at the things that have happened over the last few weeks. I also feel like I have a personal responsibility for diverse reading, and I want, and I try, and I sometimes fail at reading from a diverse author set, diverse country of origin. But I think this is an amazing way for us to share different events that happen around the world. So books that are more popular in other countries, or books from authors we may never have heard of, on topics that we may not naturally gravitate toward but would be interested in learning more about. And setting a tangible goal like this, so it is a week that is set aside for reading like this, I think is amazing. And I really hope that this is going to become a more regular event like BookTubeathon, and I hope that this isn't just a one-time thing. I'm going to link all the information from the 4 people who are hosting this event in the description box below, and any channels that I might mention, all of that information, including information that I can find on the books that I'm going to say, that I'm going to talk about for my TBR, all of that will be in the description box below. So, back to my own personal responsibility, and that is that I have chosen, I think it's 4 books that I want to read over this week-long span of time. I have added, I think, at least 24 books to my TBR just from watching others' videos from this readathon, and I'm extremely happy about that. I can't wait to get to those too, but these are the 4 that I've chosen that I want to do reviews on for you, and that I want to be included in my own TBR for now, though I am quite excited about a lot of the others that I've added as well. So the first book that I want to talk about is The Cancer Ward. It is a Nobel Prize winner in literature from, I believe, a Russian author. And I'm going to read the back of this because I think this concept is something unique. Obviously it won, I think, a Nobel Prize. So I don't read a lot of Russian literature, and I'm not really sure why. I read a lot about World War II and different wars and specific battles, and Russians play a role, I think, in that a lot, but I've never really read anything from the Russian perspective or about Russian culture in general, and I think this is very promising. So the novel, which has been compared to the masterpiece of another Nobel Prize winner, The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann, examines the relationship among a group of people in the cancer ward of a provincial Soviet hospital in 1955, 2 years after Stalin's death. While the experiences of the central character closely reflect that of the author, who became a patient in a cancer ward in the mid-1950s, on his release from a labor camp, he later recovered. The patients as a group represent a remarkable cross-section of Russian characters and attitudes, both under normal circumstances and then re-examined at the 11th hour of illness. I think this combines 2 things, terminal illness, Russian culture, and perspective, that I am very much looking forward to reading. And it's a little hefty, but I'm looking forward to sharing my thoughts on this book with you. Then the next book is A Quest of Her Own, and this is Essays on the Female Hero in Modern Fantasy. The collection is collated by Campbell, and it has a lot of books in here that are mentioned that I am really looking forward to seeing what their analyses were. It talks a little bit about the birth of modern fantasy and sort of the historical underpinnings of the genre. It talks about female heroes. It talks about some work by Neil Gaiman and Caroline. Brannon of Tarth is mentioned. So is Harry Potter, his Dark Materials. There's a lot of Cinder is on here. I think that's a pretty popular booktube that I've not read. I don't know, I think it would be a nice kind of analysis of a lot of very popular fantasy books, and I haven't really heard anything about this. This isn't as much diverse as something I would not have picked up normally. The next book was a recommendation sort of indirectly by Dan. He had mentioned Toni Morrison, who I've heard a lot of really, really great things about, but I have never read anything by her, and I wanted to fix that. He is reading a different novel based on his love of Beloved, and I had never read that either. I also haven't read any of the anything sort of post-slavery immediately after the Civil War, and that's the sort of general topic of this book. So I'm going to read a little bit of the synopsis so you can kind of get an idea of what it's about if you don't already know. So it follows a main character who is born a slave but escapes to Ohio. 18 years later, she feels she's still not free because of her memories of her time as a slave. She's haunted by the ghost of her baby, who died nameless and whose tombstone is engraved with a single word: Beloved. Filled with bitter poetry and a suspense as taut as a rope, Beloved is a towering achievement. That's pretty high praise. And I know that Toni Morrison is a pretty, well-respected author, and I want to read this. The last book is one that kind of ties more into what I typically read on this channel, but it was a pre-order of mine. The ebook was released, I think, last week, and I've been sort of saving it once I realized that DiverseAThon was going to be happening, and it is Hidden Figures: The American Dream and the Untold Story of Black Women Mathematicians Who Helped Win the Space Race. This is going to be a major film, I think, in the next few months. It's coming out, I think, in the more recent future. I saw the preview for the movie, so immediately I looked up to see if there was a book the movie was based on a book, and it was. And I'm really excited about this. I think the title says what it's about, but it's one of the books that I think I've been more looking forward to ever since I heard about it and have been waiting. I pre-ordered it, so I'm obviously excited. And this is my DiverseAThon to be read list. I hope you enjoyed this. If you've read any of these, please leave a comment down below. Let me know which one should I start with first. And I think this is an amazing concept. I want to thank the 4 creators of this. I am so glad that you took something that was hateful and ugly and not something that I want to get into, and took and made that such a positive thing for the booktube community. And I'm very, very happy to be part of this, and I hope if you're watching this that you do make this a more regular event so that we can sort of keep up with our own personal reading goals for reading more diversely. I don't want to wait and it be December again and realize that I have only read a very small percentage of people of color or people from different backgrounds or books from origins outside of the UK and the US and Canada. And I hope this will keep me more on track, and I really hope that this continues. And I'm really looking forward to what everybody has been reading and how their TBRs turn out. Like I said, I think I've added 24 easily to my TBR in addition to the ones that I've already mentioned. So I'm very much looking forward to this, and I hope you are too. And I will see you soon. Bye.